The following podcast you're about to listen to is brought to you by the Push Start Media Network, where everything you do in life begins with pushing start. Welcome back to another edition of SYE Beat the Odds. I am your humble host, Bryce Benjamin, along with the guy who watches scary movies. I think that's what he called him, Mr. Ed Rueter. What's good, my dude?
Not much, Bryce. I am excited to be here and to just let the people know what we were talking about just before we hopped on. I said that I watch the A-rated scary movies.
There we go.
Some B movies, and now some C movies. That's how many Halloween movies I've run through in the last few days trying to get in the spirit. And I'll tell you what, I'm ready to turn the page and jump into some terrible Christmas movies as well. So I'm all set for every holiday.
Hey, I feel you on that one. We have a special guest joining us today. He's been on the show before, but not this show. He's been on Sports Your Enthusiasm, but not Beat the Odds. You know him. You love him. Mr. Matt Johnson. Matt, what's good, bro?
What's going on, guys?
Like
How
that
you
intro?
Doing? That was hotness. It's been a long time since I've been introed like that, and you might have been the last person to give me an intro like that. So, no, thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be back on. I just want to kind of just congratulate you guys on all your hard work. I see you guys staying super active, always podcasting and stuff. And it's great to see. I love that. You know, while you and us, you guys and myself, we don't necessarily work together, but we're always helping each other, build each other up. Yeah. And I see your hard work, and it goes a long way. So shout out to you guys. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you, man. Always a pleasure. And yeah, man, you and your team, you guys are motivating factors. Like Rueter and I are always talking about it, man. We see what you guys are doing, and it keeps us going. It keeps us moving forward. It's like, yo, we gotta continue to be great. So
Absolutely.
Or try to get
iron
to greatness.
Sharpens iron.
Yeah, that's a fact, man.
There.
That is a fact. Yo, it's week 8, bros. Like, holy shit. This season felt like it was not about to start. And now we're going into week 8. Like, what the hell?
I know. I didn't, if you would have asked, the generic, those generic like people on the internet with like 2 followers on Twitter, the season show, we shouldn't have gotten to this point yet. Yeah, I mean, this is the halfway point pretty much.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm delighted. I'm glad we made it that far. It's a big testament to how the NFL has kind of handled everything. So, kudos to them. Very proud to be a fan of the NFL this year with how they dealt with everything going on in the world.
Yeah, man. I think the moral of the story is if money is involved, they will find a way.
I've heard something about that before. Money can motivate people. I've heard.
Money is my
I don't know that to be true, but I've heard such things before. Yeah,
money makes the world go around. All the sayings. I'm throwing them all out there. If they're going to make millions and billions of dollars, best believe they don't give a fuck about what they got to do to make it happen.
They will throw death and destruction and decay at human beings to no end.
Yes,
for millions of dollars.
Get us to week 8, no doubt about it. It's been a bumpy ride along the way, but we're here.
Man, that was the NFL back in the 70s. That was the NFL back in the 70s. Risk of death and hard hits and all that stuff. So it's just cycling through again.
Like you used to go over the middle and just get kill shotted. I miss that. I want to see those highlights. You can't do that no more. Now, if you hit a guy, if you hit a guy too hard in the chest, it's a flag.
If you poke them on Facebook, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly. All right, fellas, man. Y'all, you know what we're here to do. Week 8 is upon us. This is Beat the Odds. We are going to be picking the games with the spread all the way down. And, it started off here, Matt and Rueter. Marquee game of the week. This is, I think, the game of the week.
Oh, for sure.
We got Pittsburgh, undefeated Pittsburgh. Let me correct myself, 6-0. traveling to Baltimore to take on the 5-1 Ravens in a classic, in my opinion, the best rivalry in sports, not just the NFL, in sports. And right now, Baltimore are the favorites, -4, and the over-under is 46.5. Matt, you are our honored guest. The floor is yours, my friend.
All right. So with the spread, from the way I'm looking at it, I mean, we got two really great defensive teams, as always. Two very fun teams. And you are right. This is the best rivalry in football, possibly all time. As far as the point spread, I would take Pittsburgh to cover it, but I would go the under for total points. I think this is going to be a low-scoring defensive matchup. I really do, and it pits, a fun, fascinating offense with Baltimore that runs the ball a bunch against one of the best run defenses in the National Football League today. So I think that's probably a safe bet. I think Pittsburgh can cover the spread. It's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any proportion.
I feel you on that one, man. You got a score for us?
As far as a score, I'm gonna go 31-28 Baltimore.
31-28. Okay. Hey, listen, you win Baltimore. I'll take it. Rueter, your thoughts, my man?
I agree with most of what you two have said so far, maybe with the exception of the best rivalry in all of sports. Maybe as a Baltimore fan, you might say that, but might want to slow the roll on the best rivalry in sports talk there.
Do you care to list a rivalry that's better?
I care to do that on another cast. That could be a cast all in of itself. Best sports.
You know what? That's a good idea. Let's pin that one. Let's
write that down.
Boom.
We pinned it. So I agree with Matt, though, that my favorite part of this matchup is to see how the Steelers defense that's known for stopping the run is going to handle the Baltimore Ravens. What's interesting to me about the Baltimore Ravens, however, is that they can run on you in a lot of different ways. You've got a scrambling quarterback. It's cliche almost at this point to say things like the world has never seen a rushing quarterback, but essentially it's true with this guy, right? You've got some very interesting offensive plays that they run for guys like Devin Duvernay, and he can get loose on the edge. They can do the same thing with Hollywood Brown. That's two speedsters that are capable of getting an edge and taking off on you. And you've got a hard-nosed running game led by a whole host of very competent running backs, and that's going to be super tough. What I think may happen here is this game might be a little bit more low-scoring than maybe Matt suggested. For that reason, I think you might want to see both teams trying to run some clock on the other here, and I think the ground and pound nature that both teams are going to present is going to cause this game to be a little bit more low scoring. But I like the Ravens here at -4, and I'm going to look at this game as somewhere in the lines of like 26-20 Ravens. I like them at home, even with -4.
Okay, so before
I just realized that I'm sorry to cut you off.
Are you good?
That I said take the under, but hey, the score is going to be over. I'm such a dummy.
Hey,
I just wanted to acknowledge that. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge that Niagara Falls high school education guy. I mean, I'm doing what I can here. So, my apologies. I just want to announce that I fudged.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. All right. Shout out, Mr. Moranto.
All right, so Bryce, who do you think's going to win this game? Do I have to ask?
So first of all, I would like to start off saying, "Fuck Pittsburgh."
Oh boy, here we go.
We're gonna start there, and I mean, come on, man. Yeah, like I'm gonna tell you why my Ravens are going to win this football game. Okay, there's multiple different reasons why. Not just that we're the better team, but one, Pittsburgh, early bye week for them due to COVID. And they just came off of a very, very, very tough game against the Tennessee Titans. Hard hitting, bloody noses, all that good shit there. And Baltimore is coming off of a bye. All right. We're coming off fresh. Boys got some extra work in, got a couple extra massages, drunk some water, feeling good. We went into this bye week to retune our offense. There's a little miscommunication going on between Lamar and a couple of the receivers, Miles Boykins. Mark Ingram is out for this game, and that is a blessing in disguise because he is washed. He is done. He has not been good this whole season besides one run against Houston. Gus Edwards, who is our best running back, and J.K. Dobbins will be toting the rock for us. And I love that news. And, hopefully Mark gets healthy, but still, those are our two best running backs on our roster. Lamar has been working with his receivers during his bye week, and they feel like they got some good chemistry. And let's not forget, this is going to be the debut of Unique Ngakoue, who we just fucking robbed from Minnesota. Shout out to EDC, man. Another just Grand Theft Auto, man. I fucking love it. Yeah, man, this is going to be a hard-nosed battle, though. This is going to be a hard-nosed battle. It's going to be a classic Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers type battle. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. And I like Baltimore in this game. I'm going to go with a score of 20-17.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
like
so that's it right there.
Coming off of a bye, I just took a look real quick through the power of the internet. Brought to me the fact that the Ravens are tied amongst three other teams with the best record coming off of a bye since 2002. So what you say there does make a lot of sense as far as coming off of a bye is concerned.
John Harbaugh, get these boys ready to play, man. And it's Pittsburgh, so they got that extra juice in them. And I can't wait. I really cannot wait for this game. We should be watching the Sunday night.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was the first thing I thought when I
instead we get to watch the fucking. We'll talk about that game later. We'll talk about it. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Next game on the slate here, we got Tennessee traveling to Cincinnati to take on those pesky Bengals. And right now, of course, Tennessee our favorite, -6.5, and Tennessee suffered their first loss last week against Pittsburgh. Over under is 51.5. Rueter, I'm going to go ahead and throw this one over to you, sir. What are you thinking?
Cool. Well, I think that somehow the way they have for most of the season, the Titans will find a way to win this game. And I think that the Bengals will somehow find a way to lose this game, as they have in the past as well. But at 6.5 points, give me the Bengals all day. The Bengals have played every single game that they've played, despite having only won one game so far. They've played every game tight. As a matter of fact, of their losses, they only lost by more than 5 once.
Against who?
That was to your Baltimore Ravens, who are amongst the league's elite. And although the Tennessee Titans, you could very easily say, are now amongst the league's elite, they are a team that in their wins have had a tendency to play every single team very closely and oftentimes had to come from behind to claim victory. So with that being said, I love Joe Burrow. And the reason that I think they are going to cover this spread is because he is going to keep them in this ball game. The Titans might be able to smother Mixon and Bernard, but I think that Burrow is going to get his yards. There may even be a score late. I think even if the Titans are up like 10 towards the end of the game, they might give up an easy score towards the end and keep this one close. Big shout out to Burrow, who has now found himself after last week's 400-yard performance in the top 5 in passing in the league so far this year. Pretty cool to see him having that kind of success. This Cincinnati Bengals team is better offensively than people give them credit for because of all the losses. Certainly going to keep it close. Give me the Bengals with the points at home all day.
Okay. Matt, what you thinking, my dude?
Yeah, I would definitely have to say take the spread with Cincinnati. I mean, Ed, attested Cincinnati's offense is fantastic. It's fun to watch. Their issues have, aside from the blowout game against your Ravens, Bryce, their worst game, they've kept it close, and their losses have mostly come on the hand of the defense. Yeah, Joe Burrow, who in his second start in the National Football League has thrown over 60 times. That's absurd. And the offense is starting to, I think, mesh together a little well. T. Higgins has been emerging and whatnot. So I think Cincinnati can keep it close. Now, can they finish games? I don't think so. I would take, straight up Tennessee to win this one, but Cincinnati to cover the spread. And I would definitely take the over here. I would probably take the over on 51.5 for that, because I think it probably will be a high scoring affair. Tennessee has like this no name defense that is like, it's very peculiar. Yeah. It plays tough sometimes, but I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it. There's literally no there's no superstars on this. I mean, I get it, Jadeveon Clowney, Malcolm Butler, and a couple others, but it's there's not really many superstars. They just play very well because they're very well coached.
Yeah.
So as far